This is my waiting for Need for Speed 2017 information face, and today I'm gonna give you some. I am gonna give you a screenshot that was just released, or at least I think it's a screenshot. It's an image that was released, the second teaser image, if you will, we've seen for Need for Speed, other than the motel vacancy. I always want to say hotel vacancy, but you're probably like, what's even on this image? Like, I can't actually see any. Let me enhance. You know, like they do on the movies. No? Alright. Well, you can clearly see, now that I've zoomed in, or you focus a little bit, just focus, you can see there's some buildings in the distance. Now, these buildings obviously resemble a certain place. Now, that's what you'd assume anyway, and that's one thing I'm assuming this image is going to give. It's literally just clouds of smoke and some buildings. So, the only thing it could be trying to show you is that it's in clouds of smoke and there's buildings. What? Wait, Pants from the future here, editing the video back, and I found something new out that I wanted to share with you guys. And if I actually changed the image a little bit, changed the levels of it, you can clearly see now there's a sun. There is a sun in this picture. Either that or it's a moon, but it kind of looks more like a sun, so I'm gonna say it's a sun. We've had so much confirmation that it may actually be daytime, like the article hinting at it to a brighter future or that kind of thing. So it would kind of make sense for all the recommended or the commented feedback of the last Need for Speed for there to be daytime, and there's a sun. So maybe there's daytime. Let me know what you think. Anyway, carry on. Now, there's one building that stands out of all the others in my opinion, and this looks like some kind of Space Needle. Now, I actually looked at the Space Needle. If you don't know, that would mean it's in Seattle. Seattle would be an interesting place for a racing game. I don't really know if any other game has been based on Seattle, the Seattle area, but often there's a lot of games, for example, Infamous Second Son. Infamous Second Son was in Seattle, and Seattle in that game looked absolutely fantastic, though it seems a much more like smaller place. The roads seem a lot smaller. It's not as a big city, but either way, I think that'd be a fantastic place. But then actually I thought, you know what? That doesn't really look like the Space Needle. I looked at it. I mean, I don't know my American tourism other than the fact that I really want to go to San Fran. That's like the one place I want to go. I asked Meadow some other areas that have this Space Needle style buildings, just in case I would make this video and be like, oh, but that's wrong, because everyone would shout at me and I'd be wrong. She said that there's actually something similar in Vegas, which is known as the Stratosphere. So this actually matches up much better than it did with the Space Needle. As you can see, the best way to look at it is the holes around the bottom of the building. It looks very much more like that, but at the same time, it does look, again, like the actual building at the top of the building, the hub style. It does look like the Space Needle. So it's one or the other. I would probably say, though, Vegas, because the rest of the buildings, in my opinion, look more Vegas style, and the way they're spread out, that's much more Vegas style. So could the next Need for Speed be set in Vegas? That's my question. That's what I get from this picture right here. Vegas has been in Need for Speed before. If you've seen Need for Speed The Run, there is a section on The Run that's in Vegas, and one of my favorite sections of the game. Absolutely beautiful. If you don't know, The Run is one of my favorite Need for Speed games, just in the fact that you've traveled through so many amazing areas in America. Although it was short, it was a really good short burst. Now, Vegas, we could expect a lot of stuff, actually. If you think about it, the Vegas area, if you've played The Crew, for example, in the Vegas area, you've got obviously the long strip, so that's beautiful to race down that kind of thing. It's a big city, and then around the outside of it, very close near it, there's mountains just to the left of Vegas, but mountains that usually lead into LA kind of area. So we can expect like massive canyon style things, I would imagine, in the map. Since the last game actually had quite a few mountains and stuff, they really liked the idea of mountains around the map of Vegas. We've obviously got things like the Salt Flats, which is nearby. Imagine if the Salt Flats was in Need for Speed. That would be amazing. I would love to just roll up to the Salt Flats and do some proper drag racing, because again, drag races was introduced in the previous game as an update, so you would hope that it's going to be in the next game as well, or of some form. I hope it's more like as it was in Most Wanted and Carbon, where you stuck in a lane, or Underground 2 even, and you stuck in that lane. I much prefer that, but again, if it's on the Salt Flats, there's not really much to avoid, is there? Gotta think about that. Either way, I think Vegas, I'm gonna say Vegas is the area for the next Need for Speed, and I'm really excited. Vegas is one of my favorite cities. I think it's a lot of people's favorite city, and there's actually an atmosphere for gambling. So maybe we may actually see some form of gambling come to the game as well. Although that's like a big out of the park, like big ballpark kind of, oh, that's maybe what they're gonna do. It would be nice to have something like that. Remember Test Drive Unlimited 2? That game, I believe, was like a 15, 16, something like that. And that had a form of gambling. It had slot machines, that kind of thing. So, and it also had a special car that you had to unlock that car, you had to race around the area of the casinos and stuff. So, I think they could actually pull it off. I don't know if they will, but I'm going to say, to round this off, Vegas may possibly be the next area for Need for Speed. Let me know your thoughts down below. Do you think it's the Space Needle or the Stratosphere? Which of the two? Or is there another building like that? Because if so, America, you need to stop with your bloody big spaceship buildings. Be sure to leave a like. Hopefully we get more information soon. We're very close to the release, which is going to be on the 2nd, technically the release of, hopefully, the trailer. This, I imagine, is building up to the trailer. It's gonna drop us right in. I'm excited. You're excited. Until next time, guys, be sure to like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.